everybody, to Truth-Seeking Souls. Are we all souls? Yes, we are. And we are always truth-seeking, aren't we? Well, what about honesty? What about ourselves? What about our manifestations? What do you want? What do you desire? What do you really crave for? And just because you crave things doesn't mean it may be good for you. Right now I'm craving a nice hot apple pie, but take out the insulin, right? I'm just saying that maybe somehow, some way that there are other forces that kind of impact our manifestation. The universe might judge what's really good for you and what's really healthy for you. Sometimes we can't get the things we want, So, and I've got my good friend here, Janet Venturini. Welcome, Jan.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Jim, I always think of the one line I always add to any dream or any desire, and it's called "This or Something Greater." And the reason why I say that is that we don't always know what's good for us. And sometimes what we're reaching for, like that big old piece of apple pie you talked about, maybe it would be combined with, I would love my body to balance the sugar so well that it would be effortless for me to have that pie.
Wow.
That would be the better manifestation of that. So, we can sometimes, even in shock, we can manifest. And that came up for me in my life. And it came up for me when I lost the vision in my right eye. And it was shocking when I was told by a doctor that I wouldn't get it back. And I was so shocked by it that I fell backwards on a book I was reading at the time called Creative Visualization. And I decided to immediately visualize. Why not, right? Had nothing to lose. If I wasn't going to be able to see out of this eye because it looked like wax paper, I might as well try something, and it worked, and I got my vision back. So we don't know sometimes what is behind the power of manifestation. I can tell you this. I denied and did not accept that doctor's decision. Therefore, I manifested something different. I manifested out of absolute denial of what was present. All right? And believe it or not, that is something one can do. Normally, it is much more effective if one actually, first of all, does a meditation on deserving, a meditation on I deserve joy, happiness, and peace of mind, and these are the areas that I would like to serve the world with. Normally, the best manifestations come from when you see that manifestation as not just benefiting you, but benefiting others. So I would like to see peace in the world. And what does that mean? Well, then I have to bring about peace in my life, promote peace to the people that I'm in contact with in order to bring that peace about in the world, right?
I guess, but let's go back to when you said that, okay, you can manifest a better physical or health outcome. Like, okay, so let's say a person just diagnosed with terminal cancer in the lungs, and you said that just by rejecting that notion that you can actually manifest getting rid of the cancer, or is it manifesting a prolonged life?
It's a very fascinating thing. There's a wonderful book called Love, Medicine, and Miracles, written by Dr. Bernie Siegel. And what was so powerful about his work was he was an oncologist who diagnosed people with cancer. And some people virtually did not sign up for any kind of therapy, even with terminal cancer. And what promoted his book and his work was running into these people 5 years later walking down the street and saying, but wait a minute, how are you here? Well, I was too busy to get sick. I couldn't afford it. I had a family to feed. And so therefore the cancer just left. I had a grandfather they opened up with colon cancer and said at his age, at 89, that there was no point in doing anything. They closed him back up and it went away. So yes, cancer can go away, and yes, it does happen, and that is where the book Psycho-Cybernetics came from, which is about creative visualization, and I have used it in hypnotherapy on people, and I have had success with healing cancer with people. And what it is you actually, even that has evolved quite frankly. Even that has evolved. When I first did this, I could do things like having German shepherds go in and bite the tumor and just destroy it. Well, I can't do that to people now because they go, oh, you're hurting my body. Now I have to do things far more evolved, such as, and so the cells in your body are going in and retraining these cells, and they're taking them out of your body and into the earth to teach them how to create and make something good in the planet and the earth, because people don't want to attack anymore. So we have to get much more creative with it. But I tell anyone, if they're taking an infusion, I do this with my husband who has cancer. When that infusion goes in, you're seeing this life-giving force coming into your body, and it's moving in, and it's just igniting with light all these cells. And so what they're doing is they're recreating the cells of that tumor into healthy cells. They're all being transformed. Why not? Why can't they be, right?
Yeah, well,
all be transformed.
I certainly hope you're right.
So when we're talking about the pancreas, first of all, diet is a good course of action in your everyday life. And the other is if you want to manifest balance there, you go into the body and you visualize your body being able to convert sugar into proper levels of insulin. And you can see a thermometer. We're seeing it balanced, perfectly balanced. So whatever you visualize you want that sugar test to be, you see it as that number. Got it?
Uh-huh.
Whatever that number is. And so you visualize a drop of blood going right up that thermometer, that perfect number. And in doing that, you love your body, so you take it for a walk. You love your body, so you eat healthy foods. You love your body, and you meditate on balance and allowing love in and allowing people in, so that you can allow yourself to be in a state of balance in all areas of your life. So manifesting doesn't always apply to those things we want out there. Manifesting can many times be what we want inside our body, what we want inside our life. And we can work on that, but the key is don't just do it once and forget about it. Do it daily. Thank your body each day for working so beautifully for you. Be grateful for each thing that comes into your life, because forgiveness and gratitude are the biggest keys behind manifesting.
So what do I have to be of gratitude if I have a deathly disease like cancer or HIV? What do I have to be gratitude for?
Well, let's just say right now, you would be a person who has diabetes. What has it taught you?
Well, that I'm lousy at eating.
Okay, so it's taught you that you need to eat differently, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And in eating differently, what has that given you?
More awareness.
Right, and with more awareness in your life, what is that opening up for you?
More action. That I can take the steps to cure it all.
Right. Ever since I had my knee replaced, I don't go up or down a flight of stairs without saying thank you.
Oh, very
Before,
nice.
It gave me problems. I didn't even think about stairs. I went up and down them just because I went up and down stairs. But because I have a successful knee replacement, I say thank you every time I walk up and down stairs. Every time I take a walk with a dog, I say thank you that my legs work and I get to walk. I get to climb stairs. I get to have my life natural at my age. This is wonderful. So doesn't matter what it is, Jim. Cancer to me is the healing disease. It doesn't matter whether the person lives or dies. It's an opportunity to have the time to look at your life in retrospect, forgive things from the past, make peace with things from the past, and make peace with yourself in the moment. So I have yet to see a person who has cancer that has not done a whole lot of soul searching and healing inside of themselves.
Wow. That is so okay. So let's go away from the disease part of it all, okay? Because that means prolonged.
All right.
And I know that you are very familiar with this. Unfortunately, your family has a history of this, and my family has a history of this. But what about the things we really want? Like, say, for instance, the marriage thing, the career thing, the job thing. You know, all that manifestations. I mean, I know that the universe is not Santa Claus. You don't write a letter and it reaches in a bag and poof, there it is. It's a little more than that. Can you explain that?
No, and not only that, we're in the Aquarian age now, which is very, very different from the Piscean age we came out of, all right? And it doesn't give you everything at once. So how you manifest in this in the Aquarian age is a little different. So let's just say I would sit back and imagine myself in that career that I really want. I don't know what that would be, but let's just say a person wanted to be a teacher. Let's just use teacher as an. I would have that person imagine themselves in the classroom with students and what that person would share with those people. And then I would imagine them thinking about the kind of teacher they would want to be and what excites them, where the passion is. Think about the passion behind teaching. For one person, it might be teaching mathematics. Another might be teaching English composition. Another, it might be teaching media. And all the souls that they'd like to touch. And so they would visualize themselves in an environment doing that thing that they want. And then once they close their eyes and they visualize themselves doing it, all right, there's certain things about when they're visualizing will come to light, like, oh, I would like it to be in this kind of an environment, and I would like it to be in a class of this size, and I would like it to be in a supportive administration that would support me, and I would like it to pay me a salary that is beneficial to that which I'm doing. And then they would visualize that salary. So we keep adding on. Do you follow this? We keep building. We keep building this. We're going to be building this manifestation from the I want to be a teacher to what kind of teacher I want, being in the environment of that, being that teacher, in the perfect administration, making that perfect salary, right?
Right.
And then I would say, thank you, universe. Thank you, universe, for providing me with the opportunity to be available to the perfect students. Thank you, universe, giving me the perfect administration. Thank you, universe, for giving me the perfect salary that grows as I grow. I am in deep gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mm-hmm. What you're doing is you're putting the I have it already there.
Even if you don't.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to have it. You visualize it because reality is an energy, not it doesn't have to be here yet. But if you create the energy of it being here, then you've already got it in your auric field around you. Remember, your physical body is sitting inside of an ethereal form of you. And every time you visualize something and you put it in its completion, all right, then I would add at the end, and from all that I have created here, I ask for this or something greater. Meaning I may not know everything I want. There might be something even more out there to attach to this. So I'm opening the door to more, right? Okay. Now, after you visualize all this, and you should do this on a regular basis, you start to take actual little steps in your life. What little steps do you need to do to get to that teaching credential? Do you need to check out colleges? Do you need to check out how many credits you have towards that degree? Or do you have that degree and you need to check out places you could use it? So now you start to take baby steps towards it, right? Right. Because if you believe what you just manifested, then now you have to take some action, right?
I certainly am willing to learn. You know, one of the things I want to manifest is becoming a full-time college professor. You know, I mean, I love high school. I love teaching my students. They're great kids. They give me a lot of joy. But at the same time, I want to be able to be in college, and I have my teaching credential, and it's just so hard to get a full-time college gig. So what do I have to do?
All right. So there are college degrees that you can get online. You do know that.
Yes.
All right. So you start to take the steps towards how you can get that college degree to become that college teacher. So you start to research, and you live in the perfect area, all right, where you should be able to do that. All right. So first of all, I want you to visualize yourself in a college environment where you have cutting edge people. All right. Total cutting edge people that are in that career that you just not only teach but learn from. Because as I see you in this beautiful open theater, a studio that's unbelievable, all right? And so you visualize that, and you visualize how balanced you feel in your life there, and how grateful you are for the salary you're earning there, right? Mm-hmm. And now when you're out of the visualization, you're going to sit down, Jim, and you're going to say, okay, what steps do I need to do to get there? What is it that I need? And then you start researching the places you could get those things that you're needing. And even if it doesn't look like you can get them, say, magic happens in every day. All right?
Yeah.
I mean, magic happens in every day. I believe in miracles. I know that I can get whatever it is I am looking for. I just have to be open, right?
I think that's wonderful.
All right, so you start checking out the, what do you call them, programs that you can take while you're working and teaching. Mm-hmm. To get you there, and you just have to start.
And I would imagine that you would have to get rid of some things in your life that are just not, well, productive or occupying your time. And
well, that's called setting priorities, okay?
Yeah.
And that's not so much, this is saying, these are the things, and change the words. My priorities are this, this, and this. These things over here are just time users. I don't need to be doing that. So I would set my priorities more to be doing more of this, this, and this. Because remember, you are a natural learner and a natural teacher. You always have been. And you're bright and you're capable. And so what you don't know that I know is that this will be a breeze for you. It's not going to be difficult. It's just going to take time. That's all. It's just about you giving time to this. But it's time that you enjoy. It's time that you're going to share with your present students. It's going to benefit you where you are right now as you're moving towards that. Mm-hmm. Got it?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is take the first step and find out where you can start getting a program towards that. All right? You already have, you don't have, to get that teaching degree, you find out how much more you need to have.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine so. Yeah, I would imagine that would be the first step to kind of visualize where you want to be. I am going to do that because, like I said, once I turn a certain age, when I turn 60, I don't know if I can handle teenagers. I mean, I can barely handle them now.
No, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that,
yeah.
Jim. It's that you want to be with minds that you can learn from.
Yeah, that is true.
As well as you want to be with more advanced minds. Mm-hmm. And that's the perfect next place for you to go. And so you're just, and the beautiful part about it is that at any age, we can go after anything we want. Mm. There's no such thing. Age means nothing. Absolutely nothing. So just begin to move towards that. All right? Begin to create towards that.
Wow, that's powerful. Yeah. I guess it's the first step.
Actually, with your skill set that you have right now, the Mormon University in Utah, Brigham, hires people with skill sets to teach in college level with skills they have versus having college degrees. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of places that do it.
Private colleges that have people they hire in for college students who have skill sets in certain areas. They don't look for college degreed teachers. So you can check out those areas too.
That is something to look at. Well, you definitely opened my eyes, but let's go back to the general populace. Okay, manifestations. I mean, looking at the world right now and the turmoil that that's happening, and especially, you know, what really makes me sad is that the United States is causing a lot of that turmoil. Now, does manifesting peace mean destroying a government or a country, you know, in order to make sure that country doesn't destroy others?
Well, if you have a boil on your leg, what do you have to do to get rid of it?
Pop it. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to lance it, right? Got to create some pain, lance it open so it can drain, so it can heal.
Yeah.
So sometimes what people don't realize is most of us want a world that is peaceful with each other and not separated. And so sometimes something has to happen that is so cruel that separates everybody so much that all they want is to create a unified world. Because no one of us can destroy anything because it would destroy all of us. And all countries really know that. And so you have to have the perfect person to be in the perfect place as a destroyer. All right, but what you don't focus on is that. You focus on bringing the world back together. You visualize the world holding hands. You don't lose your belief in there's something greater at work here, because what they don't know is, and they need to know, there is a galactic force outside of the planet observing. Because we were given free will, we're allowed to go pretty deep into things, but what we're not allowed to do is destroy innocence. The earth is innocent. Nature is innocent.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll only be allowed to go so far as humans in this crazy nonsense before forces will come in that are so far beyond what we have on this planet. In fact, my husband brought that up today. He said, you know, this is going to sound really wild. He says, I do know that I could call in an extraterrestrial that could heal this tumor in me in this moment. I said, yeah, you actually could. So why don't you?
Yeah, why doesn't he?
Because I said there are forces that could do that. And I said, but you have to be the one that asks for it. No one can ask for it for you. You have to ask for it. Because there's forces outside of us that are observing. This is why we have so much activity in the skies right now. They're making up lies about what happened on the East Coast. That was not anything they had any control over.
You're talking about that airplane that crashed into the Black Hawk helicopter.
No, I'm talking about all the activity that was going on around Washington, D.C. and New Jersey that they couldn't track and figure out what it was.
Oh, you're talking about those drones. Those drones, right.
Yes,
okay,
and then
yeah.
all of a sudden they're saying, oh, no, it was an experiment that we were doing. No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
No, I didn't believe that. I did not believe that.
All right. But we've had quite a few airplane accidents lately because of frequency. We're not aligned. People are falling asleep at the wheel. They're not awake. Mm-hmm. All right? Mm-hmm. They're just not awake. Like that car you saw coming in the wrong way. They're not in their bodies. They're not present. And that's really critical to be present. But you have to believe that there's something better and greater, and you need to move towards that. And there are things. One of the things that I am doing right now is I'm following through with boycotting certain companies that are not helping the people. I don't buy from Amazon right now for periods of time when I don't need to. I don't do certain things. I would not buy a Tesla. Because of the fact that I just don't feel that I'm supporting the right things. I would rather buy locally. I'm buying locally. So there's little things that I'm doing in my life that I'm changing to not feed the monster, the billionaire monster out there, right?
Right. Well, actually, I personally think they're trillionaires that are that are doing this, not billionaires.
Yeah, so I'm just, but there are right now, the 28th of February is a don't buy from any of the factions that are supporting that.
Oh, interesting.
There's another one going on for the week in March. That's, I'll have to look up the dates again, but it's a week of boycotting those companies. Germany's already doing it, and so there's also March. There's all kinds of things that are happening, peaceful things that are happening, But for each individual, each person make a difference by believing in the powers of community, cooperation, compassion, and ethics that's beyond what you see happening. You have to go to your higher consciousness, because that melds with higher consciousness for all of their people. And so it's the people that will make a difference. And so it looks crazy right now, but don't buy into it. And, it's like I'm making moves now to not even go to certain stations. I don't watch certain news programs. I'm not using Facebook hardly at all like I used to. And a lot of that is because so much is AI generated. It's all about 70% of it is AI generated. I don't want to talk to a machine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? And so I'm changing that. I'd rather do truth-seeking souls, so the person like you who's genuine and cares about people, kids, and the world. I'd rather focus my attention on those that I have a camaraderie with. So that's what I do.
Wow, that's absolutely wonderful. And yeah, I think the letting go and the peace definitely leads to manifestation. And just as long as you're coming from a good place and wanting to go to a good place, if you can also manifest evil. Unfortunately, some people in this world. I mean, some Genghis Khan and Hitler.
But you know what I look at? Do you know what I look at with that, Jim?
Yeah, what's that?
Every time an act is taken, I'll just use some simple things. When Elon Musk was able to close down U.S. aid, and even though the judge said open it up, they're still not sending. For every starving child that happens because of that, what he doesn't know that I know is when he goes to the other side, he's going to not only feel the pain of that child starving, but everybody that loved that child. He's going to feel the sorrow and the pain of every person attached to every person harmed by his actions. I feel sorry for the man, because money means nothing when you go to the other side of the veil, but your actions mean everything.
Yeah, I wonder, why is he not aware of that? Why is he not aware of that?
So many people think that this is their life. That he also has Asperger's syndrome. He's on the autism spectrum, which means he doesn't have a lot of feelings outside of himself. And so, but I'll tell you who's been suffering for it is the Koch brother that's on the other side. He's been really suffering for all the people they harmed in their quest for money with a Heritage Foundation. So everything that we do it's a boomerang effect, right?
Yeah.
Everything. So Elon Musk will be a very poor, starving child in Sudan probably in his next life.
And what about a Jimmy Carter? What about a Jimmy Carter?
Oh, Jimmy Carter just failed when he fell out of this lifetime. Jimmy Carter was lifted in such a beautiful way, but Jimmy Carter still had things that he had to pay karma for. We all have things we have to look at, and one of the things that's really important for manifesting. Every moment of your day, let situations come up in your life that you need to not only forgive yourself for, but ask forgiveness or make amends from what happened in your past. Because we all had events where we were self-centered. Young people, particularly teenagers, are very self-centered, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So I've had to look back at that. I actually apologized to my sister before she died for all the times that I stole attention from her because it was easy for me. The things that were really difficult for her and easy for me that I laughed at and ignored. I mean, when you look back at years of your life, you go, yikes, how could I have done that? I caused a rabbit to die when I was 7. I apologized to the rabbit. I mean, I have gone through so many things and I do it. They still come up on a daily basis, events of my life that I'm not happy about. So I apologize. If there's something I can do to make amends for it, I make amends in whatever way that I can, because not one of us is innocent of having events in our life, but some of us have much more than others.
Yeah, for sure.
And so when I see anyone when I see like the rich wanting more tax savings, and in order to get that, they're starving children in the world. That just makes me sit back and go, "Wow, that is really shocking to me. That money is that important in someone's life."
Well, I think we can all feed somebody that is in despair. I'm not.
Absolutely.
I for one never really relied on the rich to solve any of our problems. In fact, they don't. They cause a lot of the problems. In fact, they cause all the problems.
Well, the thing is, to reaching a hand out, we don't know when we're sometimes we walk by angels and don't even know it. They take on physical form sometimes to test us.
Wow.
And so sometimes you don't even know why you do something, but you just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, that was interesting. I've passed 100 beggars in my car, but I pulled over for that one.
Wow.
And you wonder why it was that one. But you were called. You were called to do something. Like you were called that time to be in the car in that perfect spot to rescue that family. This happens all the time with us. And the beautiful part about manifesting and life is, in every moment there's an opportunity. So if we live life being present, it becomes richer and fuller, and manifesting becomes much easier.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Well, Jan, we are at the 30-minute mark, and again, it's like I can talk this all day with you, and learning how to manifest, and teaching how to manifest is such a gift, because so many people, they don't have confidence in themselves. They don't think they can manifest, when absolutely that's not true at all. Do
you remember the story of the teacher that got the really worst students in the 5th grade, and at the beginning of the school year she said, "I am the luckiest teacher of all because I got the best students. You are the greatest class and you will come out on top of everybody." And guess what happened?
They became the greatest class.
They became the best 5th grade class with the highest grades.
Isn't that amazing?
Because she told them they would.
That is simply amazing. So, all right, Jan, I want to thank you again, and until next time, every one of your talks have definitely inspired me, make me think, and that's what you do. You make me think. So, for Jan Venturini, this is Jim Hay from Truth Seeking Souls. It's been an honor and a pleasure. We will continue, okay, and we'll decide what we're going to come up with next. In the meantime, be well and manifest. Thank you so much.